Hello everyone, I'm here today to talk about the difference between the MSI G75 VR. This is the 8SG model. It has an RTX 2080 with an 8th gen Intel Core i7 processor, and this is the Area 51M with a RTX 2070. I wanted to show the differences between these laptops in terms of performance, temperature, when running games and benchmarks. I personally really like the portability in this laptop. It's a very portable machine. And what I really like about this machine is the amount of performance it offers with the temperatures. I'm gonna go ahead and just start the benchmarks on both these machines here. So one thing that's very notable to point out right off the bat is the temperature differences between both of these laptops. So as you can see, on the MSI you can already hear the fans going off, of course, because this laptop has a very slim profile. You can see the temperatures already here. The CPU's climbing up to 95 degrees Celsius, GPU's at 74, so it's getting, let's say, pretty toasty. Over here on the Alienware side though, we are not facing the same issue. You can see that temperatures are pretty low. The CPU is running at 60 maybe, so it's handling this like with ease. It's barely doing anything to the computer. You can't even hear the fans on this machine. I've always found the Area 51M to be an extremely underrated laptop for what it is. The design is really nice on this computer too. Very, very nice design. The MSI has a more sleek look, slim profile. They're both really good machines, but I'm very surprised that so many videos do not talk about the outstanding cooling you get on the Area 51M. Not only that, because of the outstanding cooling and that it is meant to compete with desktop level performance, you will see the performance difference between both. I'm running both of these on Ultra graphics and extreme tessellation, so on the highest on each one. So as you can see, this one has just an RTX 2070, and the MSI actually has a 2080 with max Q design, so it is like a throttled down GPU, right? So right now you can see this GPU is starting to climb up like to 80 degrees and the CPU is at 97. Let me tell you, this is really uncomfortable to have on your like lap or something. I know you're supposed to always game on a table, but like, I mean, if you touch the bottom of this computer or even this area right now, it is super hot to the extent that like you feel it's gonna scorch your fingers. Whereas here, quite surprising. GPUs hitting 73, CPUs at 58, and you know, it's almost not doing anything. Like the laptop is not even overclocked. The GPU is not even it's not like it doesn't feel like it's being taxed at all, right? So another point worth mentioning on this laptop on the Area 51M is the GPU is actually upgradable from a 2070 to a 2080 because the cards get removed and replaced. However, something worth noting is that if you have the RTX 2060 model, it is more than just that, because the 2070 model has these side fans here and openings, which the 2060 would not have. So if you were to get the 2060 model, the upgrade would involve a lot more than just changing the GPU. The 2080, I believe, is overkill because it does get hotter than this model, even though nowhere near what this MSI is getting in terms of heat, of course. But that being said, the 2070 is really the sweet spot. There is really no point going for that 9900K CPU and the RTX 2080 version of the Area 51M. Another thing worth noting is the black version of the Area 51M is, in my opinion, a better model because it does not get these palm stains on the sides where you rest your hands. It's also very cool and very sleek looking, to be honest. So these benchmarks are almost done wrapping up here. I really want to show this to people because so many people will just look at, hey, this comes with an RTX 2080, it must be better. That's not necessarily true, right? You need to look at the performance in the benchmarks. So right now, this Area 51 just finished wrapping up here, right? So as you can see, we're getting a score of 3,627. Minimum FPS is 36. Maximum is 321, right? And keep in mind, this machine has 16 gigs of RAM, whereas on the MSI, I have 32 installed, right? So if you take a look here, the min FPS is 9, whereas this one has a min FPS of 36, so it really never throttled while it's doing this benchmark. The score here is 3,300, which of course is, I mean, it's amazing. Amazing performance for a machine this slim, right? But the fans are going off like crazy. It's super hot and it does throttle when it heats. Some of you will say you can just repaste it. Yeah, that's true, you can. But if you do repaste it, it still starts to get hot again within couple of months. You're gonna have to probably repaste it again. And let me tell you, repasting this machine is not easy. You have to get to the underside of the motherboard on this one, right? So max FPS here was 289, and on the Alienware we were hitting a max FPS of 321.7, which is like, it's a huge difference, right? So you can see the difference temperatures are making, and this laptop is beating the MSI in performance, even though it has an RTX 2070 on paper and it has half the RAM. It doesn't need to get this loud, as you can hear the fans here are going off like crazy. And over here, nothing. You cannot hear anything really. The Alienware is not even being taxed by this. When I rerun this laptop and I put it into overclock mode, the score is closer to 4,000. And guess what? The temperatures do not pass 75, maybe. So this laptop is really impressive. They both are very impressive machines for what they do. This one in terms of portability, in terms of what you get for a size this big. But you have to keep in mind it does get super toasty, and it definitely does not hit that performance consistently because of the thermal throttling. Another thing to note, if you were ever considering buying between these two, is this laptop tends to have a bit of, not a bit, I would say more significantly, but it's cheaper build quality, right? The screen here is a bit wobbly on the MSI. On the Alienware, it's like pretty rock solid. There's when you like hold this laptop with one hand and lift it, you feel like it's kind of warping. It's basically thin plastics. It's not really using very expensive materials to keep the weight down, and also keep the price of this laptop down. This laptop, they really did not skimp on anything. Really expensive feel to it. Very, very sturdy feel. Very good build quality. It also has Tobii eye tracking here. I mean, they're both great machines, but definitely wanted to mention, take a look at these temperatures. 7358 GPU and CPU, and over here 86 and 93. So yeah, this one does tend to get a bit uncomfortable with gaming. So this is just a little about myself. I'm actually someone who buys a lot of computers and laptops. I've been doing this for a very long time, probably since 2011. I've never thought of making videos on YouTube. This is my first video. I just hoped to give someone something informative, my honest opinion on both laptops. I personally don't like how most reviews are very similar to each other. They almost talk about the same things or seem like biased, or like they're marketing something to you. I'm really just being honest here. You know, I've owned so many machines and I give my opinion after owning it. And I thought I could bring a fresh perspective on how these machines really work in your daily use, you know? Like if you own this one every day and this one every day. MSI, obviously, super portable. You can take it with you anywhere, but it gets super hot, right? With the Alienware, it's not that portable, to be honest, because it's much thicker, right? Super thick machine here, compared to the MSI. As you can see, if I put them here next to each other, you can see there. The Area 51M is pretty chunky, and it uses 2 power adapters, and the MSI only uses 1 power adapter, but has a super slim profile, as you can see. Very, very slim compared to the Alienware, which is where the big difference in cooling happens, right? Another thing worth noting is the Alienware does have 2 chargers, but it does run off of one of them alone, and you can game off of one of them alone, but you won't get nearly as much performance. I'd say adding the second charger would probably, or like the lower watt one, would probably give you another 15%. But that's worth noting that one adapter is big, but it's pretty slim, and the other adapter is really not that big. It's kind of a smallish adapter, right? So don't let that discourage you from buying this machine by any means. Yes, it is heavy, but if you have a good backpack, you'll be able to still take it around with you. Anyways, that is the end of my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked it. Really great machines, and if you like to see more, I would be happy to make more videos in the future. Just tell me what laptop models you'd like to see compared. I will try to acquire them and compare them. I mean, I do this all the time. So yeah, enjoy everyone. Take care.